What if we could tap into our body's own repair system to slow down aging?
That's a fascinating idea.
Like imagine if we could harness the power of stem cells. You know, those
Yeah,
tiny
yeah.
powerhouses that regenerate our tissues.
Exactly.
In this deep dive, we're going to explore how stem cells could hold the key to a longer and
Wow.
healthier life.
Oh, I love that. Longer and healthier. That's the goal, right?
Absolutely. We've got a ton of cutting-edge research to unpack.
Okay.
So let's get right to it.
Sounds good. I'm excited to dive in.
To kick things off, can you give us a quick refresher on what stem cells actually are?
Okay, so stem cells, they're basically the body's master repair kits.
Repair kits, interesting.
Yeah. They have this amazing ability to turn into any cell type in your
Oh,
body,
mm,
like from skin cells to heart cells, you name it.
I see.
Imagine like a team of expert builders that can fix or rebuild anything in your house.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
That's what stem cells do for your body. Pretty cool, huh?
That's really cool. So they're like these versatile little builders, keeping everything running smoothly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm guessing things aren't as efficient as we age, right?
You're right. As we get older, we actually have fewer stem cells, and they don't work as well.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's like having a smaller construction crew, and the workers are getting tired, maybe not as skilled.
So it's like a shrinking, tired workforce.
Yeah, pretty much. And this decline in stem cell number and function contributes to, like, the wear and tear we see as we age, from
Yeah.
wrinkles to, organ problems and stuff.
That makes a lot of sense. So if it's like a dwindling workforce, is there anything we can do to, boost those numbers and keep those stem cells in tip-top shape?
That is the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
And luckily, the research we have suggests there are actually several ways to potentially increase
Yeah.
our stem cell reserves. And you know what? Some of them are actually surprisingly simple lifestyle changes.
Now you've got my attention. Let's hear about these stem cell boosting strategies. Where do we start?
All right, so one of the most powerful strategies, and the research really backs this up, is fasting.
Fasting. Really?
Yeah. Now, it might sound a bit counterintuitive,
Yeah.
but these periods of fasting can actually trigger something called autophagy.
Autophagy. I've heard that word before. It has something to do with
Yeah.
cells kind of cleaning themselves up.
Exactly. It's like a cellular recycling program.
Oh, cool.
When you fast, your cells start breaking down damaged parts, and then they reuse those materials to build new healthy cells.
So it's like giving our bodies a break from digestion, and our
Huh.
cells use that time to clean house and boost those stem cell numbers.
Exactly. It kind of rejuvenates them, and makes them better at repairing tissues.
That's fascinating. So what else can we do besides fasting?
Well, another super important factor for stem cell health is, you guessed it, diet.
Okay, let's talk food.
Mm.
What should we be eating to support
Mhm.
our stem cells?
Okay, remember those construction workers we talked about?
Yeah.
They need good quality building materials, right?
Right.
So for stem cells, the most crucial building block is protein.
Protein, okay.
So making sure you're getting enough clean protein in your diet is like providing those stem cells with the best possible materials to like
Yeah.
create new cells.
So we're talking about things like lean meats, fish, beans, lentils.
Exactly. Those are all great sources of clean protein.
Got it. Protein is key. What else can we do to support those stem cells?
Well, in addition to diet, another thing that comes up a lot in the research is exercise. Regular physical activity can actually tell your bone marrow to
Mhm.
release more stem cells into your bloodstream.
Oh, wow. So getting our blood pumping is like a signal to release those repair crews.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes me think of that guy, Li Qingyuan.
Oh, yeah, the one who's supposedly lived to be like 256 years old.
Yeah, exactly. One of his secrets, regular exercise.
Seems like he was onto something.
He definitely was. It really shows how lifestyle choices can have a massive impact on
Yeah,
longevity and health span.
absolutely. So we've talked about diet, exercise, and fasting. Anything else?
Yeah, beyond those, another key factor is microcirculation, which is basically making sure you have good blood flow throughout your body.
Okay, that makes sense. Why is good blood flow so important for stem cells?
Well, think about it. Those stem cells need a way to travel to the areas that need repair, right? It's like,
Yeah.
imagine them as little ambulances rushing to the scene of an injury. If the roads are all blocked, they can't get there quickly.
Oh, so good blood flow is like having clear highways for those stem cell ambulances.
Exactly.
Makes sense. So what are some of the best ways to improve that microcirculation?
Well, there are a few interesting strategies that the research highlights. One that stands out is using nitric oxide boosters.
Nitric oxide boosters.
Yeah. They work by widening your blood vessels, which improves blood flow and gets more nutrients and oxygen to your tissues.
So it's like widening those highways to keep the traffic flowing smoothly for those stem cells.
That's a great way to put it.
What about restructured water? I've heard that can improve circulation. How does that work?
That's a really interesting one. Restructured water, it basically has smaller clusters of water molecules.
Okay.
And this unique structure allows it to get into cells more easily, providing better hydration, at a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
And this better hydration can then improve microcirculation, especially in those tiny spaces between cells.
So it's like giving those stem cell ambulances a super efficient fuel.
Right, exactly.
Now I'm curious about cold plunges. Does exposing our bodies to cold actually benefit stem cells?
There's a growing body of evidence that suggests that, yes, the shock of cold exposure can stimulate blood flow
Oh, wow.
and potentially improve circulation, which, as we've been talking about, is super important for stem cells to get where they need to go.
So while more research is being done, a cold plunge might be worth considering.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so we've covered fasting, diet, exercise, and ways to improve microcirculation. What other exciting strategies are out there?
Well, there's a whole world of other promising therapies and strategies that are gaining a lot of attention, and some of them might surprise you.
Well, I'm all ears. Tell me more. Okay, so those other promising therapies for boosting stem cells, what else is out there?
Okay, well, one therapy that's really interesting is PEMF therapy.
PEMF. I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, it stands for Pulsed Electromagnetic Field Therapy.
Yeah.
And basically it uses specific electromagnetic frequencies to, stimulate cells, including stem cells.
So it's kind of like sending targeted energy waves to those stem cells to give them a boost.
Exactly. And research suggests that PEMF might actually help stem cells migrate better.
Migrate.
Yeah, move to the areas where they're needed for repair.
Okay.
And it may also make them work more efficiently.
So it's like giving those stem cell construction workers like a high-tech toolkit
Mm-hmm.
and a GPS to get where they need to go. What other exciting therapies are, on the horizon?
Another area that's getting a lot of attention is light therapy, specifically using sunlight and infrared light.
Wait, just being out in the sun could help my stem cells.
It's possible. Sunlight is a natural source of energy, right?
Yeah.
And our cells, including stem cells, they've evolved to use that energy for all sorts of things.
Oh, wow.
Some studies suggest that sunlight, in moderation, of course,
Right.
it might actually boost cellular activity, including stem cell function.
Fascinating. So getting some sun could be doing more than just boosting our mood?
Exactly.
What about infrared light? How does that work?
So infrared light, it goes deeper into the body than other types of light.
Mm-hmm.
And some studies suggest that this deeper penetration can actually help cellular processes,
Okay.
possibly even ones related to stem cell activity.
So both sunlight and infrared light could be good for our stem cells. Awesome. Any other therapies showing promise?
There's another interesting one. It's called whole body vibration.
Oh, I've heard of vibration plates at the gym. How does that relate to stem cells?
So whole body vibration basically involves, standing on a platform that vibrates at certain frequencies.
Okay.
And this vibration can stimulate all sorts of responses in your body,
Hmm.
potentially even triggering the release of stem cells from bone marrow.
Oh, wow. So it's like those vibrations are a wake-up call for the bone marrow.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, send out more stem cells. We need you.
And, some studies also suggest that whole body vibration might be good for bone health, too.
Right, which is also important for maintaining a healthy stem cell environment.
That makes sense. Healthy bones, healthy stem cells.
All right.
Okay, now we've been talking about a lot of, physical things.
Right.
But what about the power of the mind? Could our thoughts and emotions impact stem cell activity?
Oh, that is a fascinating question. And it's one that researchers are really starting to delve into.
Really?
Yeah, there's actually some emerging research that suggests a possible link between our mental and emotional state and how our stem cells behave.
So you're saying a positive mindset could contribute to a healthier stem cell environment.
It's a really intriguing area of study, and while more research is definitely needed,
Yeah.
early findings suggest that things like mindfulness, meditation,
Okay.
and even visualization might have a positive impact on stem cell activity.
It's amazing how interconnected our minds and bodies really are.
It really is.
Okay, so we've talked about lifestyle stuff, high-tech therapies,
Mm-hmm.
but are there natural substances like maybe plant extracts or something
Oh, yeah.
that can support stem cell function?
Definitely. There are a ton of natural substances that have shown potential. Traditional medicine systems like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, they've been using plants and herbs for their rejuvenating properties for centuries.
It's fascinating how ancient wisdom is now being backed up by modern science.
Right. And now scientists are actually studying those traditional remedies to figure out what specific compounds might be responsible for that stem cell boost.
Very cool. So nature could hold some powerful allies in our quest for longevity. Okay, so we've covered a lot of different strategies,
Yeah, we have.
from fasting to high-tech therapies to natural remedies. Can feel a bit overwhelming, to be honest.
I know, right?
How do we know where to start?
That's a great point. I think with so many options, it's important to find what works best for you. What works for one person might not work for another.
Right.
And that's where the idea of stacking comes in.
Stacking. What do you mean by that?
It's basically combining different strategies to get like a synergistic effect. Like think of it as building a team.
Okay.
You wouldn't want a team of all quarterbacks, right?
Right.
You need players with different skills and strengths. And it's the same with boosting stem cell function.
So instead of just focusing on one thing, we can actually combine different approaches for a bigger impact.
Exactly. So, for example, you could try intermittent fasting a few times a week. Make sure you're eating lots of clean protein.
Right.
Get regular exercise. Maybe try PEMF therapy or whole body vibration, and even look into some of those plant extracts we talked about.
So it's like creating this supportive environment where our stem cells can really thrive.
Exactly.
I love that. This has been so eye-opening. I'm definitely
Yeah.
feeling inspired to take action.
That's great.
But before we wrap things up, I'm curious about the future of stem cell research and anti-aging. What's on the horizon?
We are really entering a whole new era of possibilities when it comes to stem cells and longevity. Scientists are making incredible advances,
They bet.
pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. One area that's super exciting is CRISPR gene editing.
CRISPR, that's that revolutionary gene editing technology, right?
Yeah.
How does that relate to stem cells?
Right. CRISPR allows scientists to basically target and modify genes within cells, right?
Yeah.
So for stem cells, this could potentially mean programming them for specific tasks, like imagine repairing damaged organs.
Wow.
Or even reversing age-related changes at the cellular level.
It sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
I know, but it's really happening. It's pretty wild.
That's incredible. What else is coming up?
Another area that's a hot topic is personalized stem cell therapies.
Personalized.
Yeah, so scientists are trying to create treatments that are tailored to each person's unique genetic makeup and their specific health needs.
So instead of a one-size-fits-all approach,
Exactly.
we could have stem cell therapies designed specifically for each of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the future of medicine, personalized and targeted treatments that use the power of our own biology.
It's a pretty exciting time to be alive with all of these advances happening.
It really is.
But with all this talk about advanced therapies and, genetic manipulation,
Right.
are there any ethical considerations we need to think about as we explore these new frontiers?
Absolutely. It's crucial that we proceed with caution and really understand the potential risks and benefits. Ethics are super important in this field.
Yeah, I agree.
We need to make sure these therapies are developed responsibly and used ethically, taking into account their impact on individuals and society as a whole. But for now, the main focus is on, boosting our own body's natural stem cell production, using those lifestyle changes and less invasive therapies we've been talking about.
Makes sense. It's great to be excited about the future,
Yeah.
but also important to be thoughtful and responsible.
Mhm.
Okay, before we go to the final part of this deep dive,
Okay.
there's one more area I think we should touch on, something that's really important for the health of all our cells, including those stem cells.
Okay, what's that?
Membrane lipids.
Ah, yes. Membrane lipids. They're often overlooked, but they are crucial for cell health.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these membrane lipids. What are they exactly?
So imagine each cell in your body is like a little house, right?
Right.
The cell membrane is like the walls of that house,
Yeah.
protecting the contents and controlling what goes in and out.
Got it.
And those membranes are made up mostly of lipids, which are basically fat molecules.
So these lipids are like the building blocks of the cell's walls.
Exactly. And they play this really vital role. They act like gatekeepers,
Oh, yeah.
controlling the flow of nutrients, oxygen, and other important stuff. They also help cells communicate with each other
Hmm.
and respond to their environment.
So they're basically essential for keeping everything running smoothly inside the cell.
Right.
What happens to them as we age? Do they change?
Hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, as we get older, the quality of those membrane lipids can decline.
Oh, no.
Things like oxidative stress can damage them, and that makes them less effective.
So even if we have enough stem cells,
Yeah,
if their membranes aren't working properly, they can't do their job as well.
exactly. It's like having a construction crew with all the best tools and materials, but their workshop has a leaky roof.
That's a great way to put it. So how do we, protect those cell membranes, especially as we get older?
Well, that's where the idea of membrane lipid replacement comes in.
Membrane lipid replacement.
Yeah, it's a pretty new area of research that's showing a lot of promise for longevity.
Interesting. Tell me more. How does that work?
Basically, it involves taking supplements, specific kinds of lipids that can help replenish those aging membranes
Oh.
and improve their function. They can help with things like membrane fluidity, reducing that oxidative stress,
Yeah.
and even improving how cells communicate.
So it's like giving those cell walls a fresh coat of paint, patching any holes so
Exactly.
they can better protect the cell and keep things running smoothly.
You got it. And the exciting thing is, research is suggesting that membrane lipid replacement could be good for all sorts of things. Cognitive function,
Wow.
cardiovascular health, even immune function.
It sounds like supporting those cell membranes could be just as crucial as boosting stem cell numbers.
Absolutely. It's all about creating a healthy environment at the cellular level so everything can thrive.
This has been such a fascinating conversation. We've learned so much, from stem cell basics to these cutting-edge therapies and the importance of those membrane lipids.
It's been a great discussion.
And it's clear there's a lot we can do to support our own longevity and well-being. What's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
You know, what I find most exciting is that we're not just talking about living longer. We're talking about living healthier, more vibrant lives, increasing our health span, not just our lifespan.
That's a really powerful distinction.
Yeah,
We're not passively accepting the aging process. We can actively participate in how we age.
exactly. And that's incredibly empowering.
It really is. It makes you realize we have way more control over how we age than we think.
Right. It's not set in stone.
Exactly. And, as we've been talking, I keep thinking back to what you said about, stem cells rebuilding organs in a lab.
Oh, yeah. It's incredible what they can do.
If they can do that in a petri dish, imagine what they could do inside our own bodies.
I know, right?
With the right support, the possibilities are endless.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
Totally mind-blowing. And what I love is that we don't have to just wait around for some, future breakthrough.
Huh.
We can actually do stuff right now to support those stem cells.
Exactly. We've got all these strategies,
Yeah.
like fasting, eating clean protein, improving our circulation, even just thinking positive thoughts.
Right. Each step we take is like an investment in our future health.
Absolutely.
This has been such an inspiring deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing all this amazing knowledge with us.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this exploration of stem cells and, the quest for a longer and healthier life.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.
If you're feeling inspired and want to learn more, we've put together some resources in the show notes where you can dive deeper into all the research we've talked about. So go check those out. And remember, the power to age well is within you.
That's right.
Keep those stem cells happy, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.